Morning, my friends. Q&A. It's Q&A time, and there will be a challenge in this video. You can try to guess where I am in the world. Where am I filming this video? First question, Maya. What have you noticed to be your favorite quality in people you meet? Yeah, good question. Favorite quality in the people I meet. So I'd probably say friendliness and being joyful and curiosity. No, I love the small talk. I love when people say hello, how are you, a small smile. Just something soft, but very simple thing. And in general, curiosity is really, sometimes it's a bit too much for me, but yeah, I do enjoy when people are curious. I mean, being curious is very important, I think. And I love joyful people. I don't know, life is so much better when you're joyful, so I don't understand why. Yeah. And it's just a mindset. If you have problems, we all have problems. You try to forget about your problems, and I love joyful people. Question number 2 from Zaina. Why do you look forward the most when you travel to a new place? I look forward to the people. It's the most interesting thing anywhere in the world. Look at this small shrine, very beautiful. And then look at the language, how it's written. You cannot know, you'll struggle to find where I am. Yeah, the people is definitely the highlight of any place in the world. And I love humans. Humans are fascinating. So yeah, that's the main reason why I travel, just to discover human cultures. But I look forward to the fascinating human beings everywhere in the world. Question 3, are you cycling back? Yes, I am cycling back, definitely. It's gonna take me even longer than what I thought. I enjoy Southern Africa too much, so I'm gonna add a year in Southern Africa, I think. And then I'm gonna cycle back via West Africa. So probably 4 years to cycle back to Europe. And do you have the mental energy to do your return journey? Also, if you manage to do another 3 years back to France, will you integrate back to normal life? Yes, the mental energy, I definitely have it, for a very simple reason. I just love what I do, so it's very easy to have the mental energy to do something you love. Will I be able to go back to normal life after that? No, there's no way. I'm too addicted to traveling. I'm too addicted to freedom. I'm lost for normal life. Bonjour.
Bonjour. C'est juste pour moi.
Question 4 from my friend Gaurish from Goa in India. Will you be planning any trip across Asia after Africa trip? And also from Narali, a fan from Iraq. And it looks like I have a lot of female followers from Iraq. Will you travel the rest of the world after returning to France? Yes, after riding back to Europe, I will ride to India, and then after India I will ride towards the Philippines. So I have to find my way across China, and then I'll do the Americas. But yeah, I plan to do the entire world. I have, let's say it now. Yeah, I have plans. If I remain able to cycle, I have plans, traveling plans, all the way until I will be somewhere between 65 to 70 years old. So I have a lot of ideas for traveling. I have a lot of plans. So you'll probably see a lot of more travel videos on my channel. Question number 5. What's the whole purpose of traveling to Cape Town? Honestly, for me, there is no real purpose. I guess it's just enjoying, just doing what I like. I like to travel. Maybe it's also inconsciently to prove myself that I am able to do such kind of things, to give to myself a good image of myself. Maybe flatter my ego, I don't know. but there is no real purpose for me. It's just I like to travel because I like the person I become when I travel. In normal times I am shy and I feel like I'm weak, and when I travel I'm become someone completely different, and I like this person much more. So the purpose is for me is just that, to improve myself somehow. Question 6. Don't you get scared of the places that you sleep in sometimes? No, I have a very easy and very good tactic for that. If I camp, in order not to get bothered by animals, I just put earplugs on. I don't hear anything. If something happens, if I'm bound to die during the night, I'll die during the night. But then at least I'll die without getting scared, and then I sleep very well. So no, I'm not afraid. Earplugs, no more fear. You don't hear the noises. 7. How often do you go back to France during your journeys? I would say in average every once a year to see my family. There's a river down there, but we can't see it. Next, what is your understanding of why you are in this world? Good philosophical question. In my mind, look at this beautiful weather. In my mind, there is no reason why we are in this world. In my mind, we just happen to be in this world. Wow, oh my God. Yeah, in my mind, life is just absurd, doesn't make any sense. But yeah, the problem is that giving this explanation to most, they cannot satisfy most people. So that's why religions thrive so much, because religions do give an explanation as to why we live. But in my mind, there is no explanation. The only issue is that this absence of explanation is kind of, I think, kind of unacceptable, almost, yeah, impossible to accept for most people actually. So yeah, that's why we have religions. Well, that's my opinion, eh? That's only my opinion. Next question, guys. So what kind of help should we offer when we meet you? Should we offer help or wait for you to ask? That's a very good question actually. Hopla. Small waterfall. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
So how to help not only me but cyclists on the way in general? I would say no, don't ask for a cyclist to don't wait for a cyclist to ask, because well, it's complicated for cyclists to ask. Well, if they really need help, they will stop you, but it means they're in big trouble already. The two main ways to help cyclists is water and food. But the best way is to ask whether do you need. Bonjour. Bonjour. Yeah, so water and food. Oh, putain. But always ask, because often, I mean, when people want to give me water, I always take it. Or maybe I try to say no, I don't know. But I always take it if I really see that people want to give me something, water or food, which are the two things that make the most sense. But it's true that sometimes, often I have enough water for the whole day for me. So actually sometimes water, when people really want to give me water, it annoys me a little bit, because it's water is freaking heavy, so it adds a lot of weight. So then I carry more weight during the day, for nothing basically, because I already had enough water. So I think the best way to help, yeah, water or food, but ask whether the cyclist needs water or food. An energy bar or something sweet or whatever, that's always a nice help also. And yeah, no money, I think, well, I would say, yeah, in my mind, no money, because some people will get not offended, it depends, but sometimes it's a little weird to receive money. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh my God. Oh, yes. This place is beautiful, guys. So where I am, I don't want the country, I want a bit more precisely than the country.
Regarde, j'avais la bici.
Non, mais bouge ton cul, je vais faire une photo. C'est ce que... Exact.
Oh, bah alors,
Beautiful place. Wow. Next question. I need to cross the river. What has been the most fucking hell transformative and life-changing experience during my travels in Africa that has changed my perspective on the continent? That's a very good question, and it's funny because actually the answer lies not on this journey. The answer is one of the reasons why I love Ethiopia so much, and the answer comes from the absolute first day, my first day in Africa in my life. So that was in 2012 or 2013. So I had just arrived. I arrived at the airport. The airport is in downtown in Addis. So I go down and try to get a minibus to Piazza. First experience was not so good. I asked the price. People give me way too expensive prices, but because I don't know the prices, I accepted it because it seemed cheap to me. So then all the drivers tried to pull me at the same time. They all took one of my arms and tried to pull me into their minibus, which was very weird. I was like, what the fuck? These guys are crazy. Just for a 1 or 2 euros, everyone started to be like super kind of aggressive. Yeah. Then I got to Piazza and I walked around, and first steps in Africa, you know, you're afraid. You know, it's Africa is supposed to be dangerous, whatever. Everyone who is not African is afraid of Africa most of the time. Wow. I walked around and some people talked to me. I walked around Piazza. Some people talked to me, and some guys near the minibus station in Piazza, they talked to me and they were eating boiled potatoes with a bit of chili on it. And they talked to me and I'm like, yeah, first time. So I'm like, yeah, first time in Ethiopia, first time in Africa in my life. And the people were like, wow, 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 they got super excited. And the guys started feeding me with their potatoes. So they took the potatoes with their hand and just put it inside my throat, in my mouth. I love this culture in Ethiopia. I know many people will say it's unhygienic and whatever. It's the most beautiful sign of friendship and yeah, human friendship and sharing. So I was afraid of Africa. And the first thing that happened to me, well, the second thing that happened to me is that people were feeding me for free. And in the same evening, I decided, okay, you know, Africa, the dancing and all this, I need to go out and go in a bar. So I walked around a bit Piazza, entered the bar, very small bar. I took a beer and nothing happened. Then the electricity went off, well, stopped working. It was a bar owned by Tigrayans, so at that time the Tigrayans were ruling Ethiopia. I think some of them were former fighters of the TPLF, fighters who had freed Ethiopia from the communist yoke. And with no electricity, the very dark bar, suddenly the owners of the bar, the customers, they all gathered and they had some music still going on, I don't know how, probably on battery. They all gathered and they started dancing Tigrayan dances, and they were jumping around and shaking their shoulders and yo 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 yo, and my god, and I had never seen anything like this in my life. After the electricity came back, they sat down again and I was about to leave when one of the dancers, when one of the customers told me, no, stay, have another beer, I'll pay you a beer, you stay. And we stayed and we chatted, and for 3 days every night the man took me around Addis, invited me, paid for everything for me, for the food, for the alcohol, and made me discover Ethiopia, Ethiopian life. So in 3 days, oh my god, I still have goosebumps when I think about that. I had discovered that that African people can be very hospitable and so friendly and so talkative and generous. Exactly the opposite of what I thought. And since then, whatever happens, despite all the struggles of traveling in Ethiopia, I'll always love Ethiopia. I'll always love Tigray, and I'll always love Africa. Yeah, and despite all the struggles, despite the stonings, in Ethiopia there is always someone to help you. After someone annoys you, you always stumble upon someone who wants to help you and apologizes for the behavior of other people. In Taitu's hotel, before they used to play concerts in the old Taitu hotel, the oldest hotel in Ethiopia. Ethio jazz, man. Ethio jazz. I love Ethio jazz. In any restaurants you go to in Ethiopia, if there's no room, the people will tell you to sit at their table and share. They will share their injera with you. In Taitu hotel, I was even invited to a beer because I happened to sit at the table of the CEO of Ethiopian Airlines, which is the biggest company in Ethiopia probably. Somehow something matches between me and Ethiopian people. We get along well together. Oh my god. Top 3 countries. Easy. Number 3, South Africa. South Africa is truly awesome. Number 2, Ethiopia. And number 1, number 1. And that's my number 1 in the world. Of course, Kenya. I love Kenya so much. The reason why I put Kenya before Ethiopia is because Kenya is way easier to travel, a little bit less fascinating culturally, but way easier to travel. Much less struggles than in Ethiopia. You're not affected as a foreigner by the politics also. Ethiopia, in normal political times, could be my number 1, used to be my number 1 country, but with the current political situation and with me and the camera, too many struggles to be number 1. And Kenya is so enjoyable, guys. So enjoyable. I love Kenya so much. What a view over this mysterious place. You can see a church there. Oh my god, I'm tired. Next question. What do you think we can all learn from your journey? I think that what you can mostly learn is that most of the time when you think that you cannot do something, the immense majority of the time, you cannot do it because you don't try. People who don't have the guts to try to live their dreams, fucking hell, look at that. Hoppala, woo. They will always tell you that whatever you want to try is impossible. It's dangerous, it's this and that. But they just project their own fears and their own frustrations onto you. They have no idea, they never tried. So just try. If you really want something very strongly, almost nothing is impossible in this life. If you are patient, you have resilience, and you're really focused on your goal, and you work hard, because there is no secret, work is the only secret for success. But if you really put all the chances on your side, then almost everything is possible. So what you can learn from my journey, I guess, is just just dare to try to live your dreams. Who knows, it might turn out to be possible. And who knows, your dreams might actually somehow become your life. Whoa, 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 whoa. This is spectacular. Dare to dream and dare to try. Next, how do you afford all this? It's quite simple. Whoa, I'm hungry already. The first year I relied on savings and investment, and now, well, my revenues from YouTube and Patreon cover all my travel expenses. So I've reached, so I can live from, I can keep going like this for forever, as long as I like doing this, and as long as I don't, well, as my YouTube revenues and Patreon revenues don't decline also, of course. So how do I afford all this? Well, thanks to you guys. Thank you very much. You like watching my videos, and I like the traveling and doing those videos. So we get along very well, because somehow, just by watching my videos, you do end up funding my travels and my videos, which is a fantastic system. I love YouTube for that. Next, how do I deal with travel fatigue and burnout and being burnt out? I did suffer from that on my first backpacking journey 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago. But now it's quite simple. I do like going back to France once a year because it helps refresh your mind. And to prevent travel fatigue, I just travel as slowly as possible, basically. And the video helped me a lot for that, because I have to stop to do the editing very often. And I also do the least tourist activities possible, so that when I do one tourist activity, then I'm very happy to do it and I enjoy it. Because yeah, I figured that travel fatigue mostly comes from seeing too many beautiful things regularly, and then you get to burn out and you stop enjoying what you see, because you have seen too many beautiful things. So I try to see the least beautiful things possible, and then when I see something beautiful, I'm like, wow. Where's the path? Maybe there. And when you've seen many beautiful things, also, yeah, in the end you don't really care what you don't really care about the sights you see, because they are more, the unique thing of every country is the people. And the people, the best way to see the people is it's in normal places, away from the tourism areas. I think it's this way. And yeah, I will do, after Asia, if my body allows me, I will do from Alaska to Patagonia. Oh, so what do you look forward when you take the route for West Africa? Well, this is West Africa for me. I don't know West Africa at all. I've been only once, very briefly, to Senegal. What a view. I look forward to everything almost. It's the adventure, because the way across West Africa between Europe and South Africa is probably, in terms of cross-continent journeys, it's the most challenging in the world. So I look forward to a great adventure, challenges, probably corruption to deal with. I don't know, we'll see. But it's gonna be hell of an adventure. Yeah, I look forward to the people, the culture. Apparently, culturally, West Africa is very rich. I look forward to Angola. It's supposed to be fantastic. Congo Brazzaville, supposed to be fantastic as well. Nigeria, culturally fascinating. Probably the greatest challenge I've ever faced in my life. And then after Nigeria, it should be easier. Like Ivory Coast is supposed to be very nice, quite developed. I look forward to Liberia, Sierra Leone, see how the countries are doing after the horrible civil wars they went through. Senegal, my God, Senegal. Senegalese people are very friendly, and oh my God, I think Senegalese women are the most beautiful women in the world, so really look forward to Senegal. And finally Morocco, of course. I've never been to Morocco as well, and it's gonna be surely very different and very interesting for a brief way back into more Middle Eastern life. So I'm really excited about West Africa, guys. Super excited. Oh, putain. Oh. Beach party here, mountain party. People enjoying life. So top 3 African foods, and is nyama choma my favorite? I love nyama choma, but it's not my favorite. So I would say number 3, nyama choma. The one, especially the one I had just before reaching Eldoret. Oh, this one was so good. Number 2, number 2, definitely boerewors in all Southern Africa. Oh my God, I love the boerewors. I love this sausage, it's fantastic. And I think I might have broken my toe, my left small toe on the rock. And with very little hesitation, best food on this side of Africa, kitfo in Ethiopia. Wow, I just love kitfo so much. I'm salivating just by thinking about it. So it's minced raw meat, Ethiopian style, with a lot of meat mita and a lot of butter, I think, or something like that, or oil. Fantastic and amazing raw meat with the injera. Fantastic. Next question, an interesting one. Do you think black can ride in Europe in peace the way you're doing in Africa? The way you're doing in Africa. I'm quite amazed how many people think that, that this would not be possible. Well, if in the same way as me, on a bicycle with a lot of bags, a black person in Europe would have no problem at all. I mean, when you're on a bicycle with a lot of bags, no matter your skin color doesn't matter. It's obvious that you are a traveler and that you're not coming here to do anything bad. I mean, so yeah, definitely a black person could travel in the same way in Europe in complete peace. Next question, which country follows you the most? Viva Kenya! I think I still have 20% of my audience from Kenya. It's incredible. I struggle to believe it. Kenyans are awesome. Which country would I never return to? There is no such a thing in my mind. Every country has good in it and has things to discover, so there is no country where I would never return to, even if I had bad experience in some countries. Mustafa's been watching you for years. Thank you very much, Mustafa. Almost at the end of the journey. Congrats, man. Thank you. Thank you. Which country was easy to film and which country did you find having difficulty filming? I would say most countries are easy to film. The only countries that were difficult to film were, well, Lebanon, you have to be a little bit careful, but it's not difficult to film in Lebanon. But you have to be careful because you can't film the army, so sometimes the army can bother you, but actually the people individually, they don't give a shit, they don't care. Then it's Egypt, Sudan and Ethiopia. The 3 that were really difficult. Egypt, because the people are so scared. I think it used to be forbidden to vlog, but somehow after the Sony's video, the guy who does the food videos, after he destroyed Egypt, they allowed filming. But still, the people are scared of their government, so they're scared of cameras because they are afraid to, they're just afraid of the government. Sudan was also because, but now it's irrelevant. But Sudan was also because of the government, because I think it was kind of not allowed. So some people, the strict religious people especially, Sudan was ruled by the Muslim Brotherhood, and the people close to the Muslim Brotherhood would be quite annoying when they would see you filming. And it's complicated because then it was forbidden, so then you break the law and you never know, but actually even the police didn't care. It's just some people, some religious extremists would be annoyed because if you follow strict Islam, the pictures and taking pictures is not really allowed, is not really accepted because especially because For example, you can't take pictures of women. And actually I had problems like this in Iraq. In Iraq, people let me film without any issue. But in the comments, I did receive some death threats because I dared to film Muslim women. And I was saying, I received some threats like, you have to blur the women now, otherwise we will kill you, or we will do this or that or to you. So, but in Iraq, when I was filming, when I was in the country, was no problem. It's just in the comments. You have the extremists coming. And Ethiopia, strangely enough, in the Amhara region was very easy. I thought, wow, Ethiopia is going to be a dream. And then as soon as I arrived in the Oromo region, it was a nightmare. And Addis is completely mental. For filming, it's just, well, it was, I don't know, because things changed so fast there. But basically at the time I was there, because of the war in Tigray and the fact that the Westerners complained about the war in Tigray and blamed the government, there was a lot of anti-Western propaganda in the country. So then if you are like obviously a Westerner with a camera walking around in Addis or in the Oromo region because the government is Oromo, then it was the most, I don't know, it's complete nonsense. Like people would see the camera and would immediately start shouting and like, ah! Go completely nuts. It's like, so yeah, definitely the hardest country to film. I don't know how it is now, but hardest country to film in by very far, Ethiopia. Even though at the time I was there in the Amhara region, it was actually very easy. Next question, do you think a woman could be the same journey as you and be safe? Yes, I do think so, completely. For example, right now there is a Moroccan woman who rode from Morocco down to South Africa, and she's going back up towards Tanzania now. And she's been safe all the way. It's funny because this issue is often linked to culture actually, and to, yeah, basically Morocco was for a very long time a matriarchal society, and in some ways, from what I heard, it is still a matriarchal society, which I mean that's what now, of course, with Islam it has changed, but still in the house the women rule in Morocco, from what I understood. And so basically it really depends on the nationalities, from what I've seen along on my travels over all my life. Women who travel alone are mostly, from what I've seen, Japanese and Chinese, a bit Korean as well. For somehow they don't have this, they know it's dangerous, they know the danger is a bit higher is higher for a woman than for a man, but they know it doesn't prevent women from doing things on their own. So Japanese women, Chinese women, and Korean women, they just go like men. But yeah, in Europe you have a few the Anglo-Saxons women, some German women travel alone. But yeah, in general I would say European women are much more scared to travel alone. They're much less adventurous and sure of themselves compared to East Asian women. In general, I would say. Well, I've seen so many Japanese women and Chinese women in my life traveling alone. And I mean traveling alone, not in Europe. I mean doing crazy stuff like roaming around the mountains in Pakistan, being chased by Taliban in the mountains of Pakistan, going to Afghanistan, going to Yemen during the war. Yeah. Japanese women and Chinese women are like insanely brave. So it's the same. The limitation for women is mostly in the head, and it's mostly cultural, from my experience. It's funny because if I think carefully, actually I think that the bravest traveler I've met in my life was a Japanese woman. Yeah, I think I've never met a guy who was as crazy as she was. Solo traveling, Afghanistan, Yemen, lost in Colombia with no food, no water, the car, lost in Mongolia with the car taken by the river I don't know, she was not alone in this case, but yeah, Aiko, I don't know if you watch my videos. You're definitely the bravest person I've ever met in my life, I think. And here's Gaurish again. You're very good at finding good question, Gaurish. So top 3 most memorable moments between the cemetery. Ah, fucking hell. I hit my probably broken toe again. Top 3 moments between the First World War cemetery in France and Cape Town. Number 3, I would say riding to the pyramids in Sudan. I don't know, for some reason I dreamt about it all the way across Europe and the Middle East. Intéressant. Interesting. Bonjour, ça va? Ça va. Ok.
Pour l'instant.
Pour l'instant, ok. Ouais, bonne chance. C'est pas facile en vélo tout ça. Ça va alors. And when I finally got to, I don't know, it's fascinating. It's like traveling back hundreds of years ago. And when you ride with your tricycle right in the middle of the pyramids, in the middle of the desert, and there is no tourist gate or no ticket to pay or nothing, and you just ride, you beach your track in the sand, and I don't know, this is fascinating. And you're surrounded by like 3,000 years old, maybe 4,000 years old pyramids. Truly memorable. Nubia is fascinating to visit. Oh, I'm almost there. Incredible. So number 2, the Donga. Yeah, the Donga of the Surma tribe, deep in the tribal region in Ethiopia, where I lost the footage, of course, because I was robbed. But oh my god, the ritual fight. Well, you can watch the video where I explained how I was robbed by them, actually, by the tribe. But this was fascinating. It's the most incredible thing I've seen in my life. I've lost so much money to see that. Between what I paid to go there, yeah, the time I lost to get a new passport, or the new cameras to buy, I don't know, I probably lost like $4,000, almost that, yeah, on this case, in this case, but it was still worth it. This is mental. It was so fascinating to see real tribal life, and the way we all used to live a few thousand years ago. Fascinating, the most incredible experience in my life. No, but yeah, as a thing to visit or to experience as a tourist, unbeatable. And number 1, well, the arrival. In 2 times, the border crossing with South Africa was insane. The emotions I felt, the feeling of achievement, realizing that I was reaching the last country. That was fascinating. Insane. The greatest feeling in the world. And then after arriving, the first, I would say the first week in Cape Town, where I had all these slowly across South Africa, all these feelings, all the feeling of achievement. And the first week in Cape Town, it was insane. I had truly the impression that I had reached the nirvana. And I still have the impression that I have reached the nirvana somehow. I'm so at peace with myself. It's fantastic. So what would be my top picks to settle if I had to settle somewhere in Africa? I would say number 2, South Africa. Definitely the region of Cape Town. There's definitely a place where I could live. And number 1, no hesitation, Kenya. Kenya is just too enjoyable. It's just, and so why Kenya is like, I just love the people. I love the vibes. I love the atmosphere. There's a bit too much chaos in Nairobi maybe, but I just love Kenya. I just love Kenyan people. I just love Kenyan people. I just love Kenyan people. I just love Kenya. I just love Kenyan people. I just love Kenya. I just love Kenyan people. I just love Kenya. I just love Kenyan people. I just love Kenya. I just love Kenyan people. I just love Kenya. I just love Kenyan people. I just love Kenya. I just love Kenyan people. I just love Kenya. I just love Kenyan people. I just love Kenya. 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 I just Oh, poor guy. 13 years old. Died here. And before I would have said Ethiopia, but now with the current political situation, there is no way I could live in Ethiopia. But when the politics were better, a few years ago, I would have been able to live in Ethiopia as well. Addis actually used to be my favorite city in the world for a long time. But well, now it's a bit different. But who knows? Things could get better at some point.